Libbey, you and I were listening to this press conference. What else did we learn?
Hena, so many details revealed in this press conference at the Pentagon. This operation was called Midnight Hammer, and Pentagon officials saying that this operation was, quote, flawless, complex. They also mentioned it was high risk and that operation security was at the all-time priority here heading into this, and that they now say this ultimately led to Iran's nuclear capabilities and abilities to create a nuclear weapon. It left them obliterated, and the Secretary of Defense saying that Tehran had no idea of the U.S. operation despite those B-2 bombers heading to the region, or to Guam at least, and then we saw these details be revealed. Let's listen to part of what the Defense Secretary had to say.
It took a great deal of precision. It involved misdirection and the highest of operational security. Our B-2s went in and out of downtown Tehran, of these nuclear sites, in and out and back without the world knowing at all. In that way, it was historic.
Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, he provided operation details. Some of those details include that there was 7 B-2 bombers, each with 2 crew members in those B-2 bombers. Those bombers dropped 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs on these 3 nuclear sites in Tehran that the U.S. targeted. Those were those bunker bombs that we have been speaking so much about. Now, we saw this air assault happening, but we also saw submarines launching their own air assault. 24 Tomahawk missiles were launched by U.S. submarines on these sites as well. Kane tells us that the U.S., the forces in the region, of course, remain on high alert as we continue to learn more details about this. A lot of details revealed during this. And one standout moment to me, Hena, was Hegseth asked if this could be ultimately leading to a war here. And I want to read exactly verbatim what his answer was. He says, well, anything can happen in conflict. So certainly the first time the Secretary of Defense, Hena, has answered questions in a press briefing specifically at the Pentagon. A formative moment for the Trump administration here as we continue to learn more details about Operation Midnight Hammer.
Yeah, that comment stood out to me as well, Libbey. Hegseth saying we devastated the Iranian nuclear program. Tell me more about the position Trump is in now as he prepares to go to the NATO Summit later this week.
Well, the pressure is on, Hena, heading into this summit. And I just learned from a source that President Trump will now depart for this NATO summit in the Netherlands on Tuesday. A White House official telling me this just before that press conference started. But the official did point out that this move was decided before last night struck Iran, before the U.S. struck Iran last night. And they're simply pointing this as a schedule change rather than a change because of these strikes that the U.S. conducted. But this change actually comes after, you'll remember, President Trump abruptly left the G7. That was just last week. It's crazy to think that that was literally just last week when this happened. He returned here to the White House to focus on this Middle East situation, departing early, leaving European allies there. And now we know there's 32 countries, of course, included in NATO, 32 member countries. And they're all going to be focused in on this, the U.S.'s strikes on Iran, because it comes at a time of incredible global tension, not only with these strikes, but, of course, other wars that we're tracking, Russia, Ukraine, things of that sort. But a lot of developments here in Washington as we continue to learn more details about this operation and President Trump now pushing his departure to the NATO summit to Tuesday. Hena.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.